The 30th of April by Moore, Parsha Hashavua with Rashi.
Good evening, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Rabbi. How are you?
Baruch Hashem. I don't know why the computer took me time to get in today. I don't know why. Okay, let's go. We're up to Pasuk, the beginning of the Parsha, Pasuk Gimel, chapter 12, Pasuk 3. Lou, it's your turn, I believe.
Okay. 12:3. Gimel, let's see. We have Uvayom Hashmini Yimol Basar Ara Lasso. Ar Lasso.
Right.
Okay, on the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised.
Very good. Okay,
There's no right. What?
Yeah, because the previous pasuk says that if a woman gives birth to a boy, okay,
Right.
then on the 7th day she be tomei for 7 days.
Right.
And the 8th day he shall have his bris milah.
Right.
Okay, it's interesting. Two interesting points which I mentioned in the Gemara. Was a few. First of all, from this pasuk we learn out that even, which is something special about bris milah, that even if it falls on Shabbos, the 8th day falls on Shabbos, the bris still takes place on Shabbos. It's doicha Shabbos. And Mar explains that because of this pasuk. It says, on the 8th day, you shall yimal b'sar alose. 8th day, come what may. Okay? Obviously, if the child is not active, it's not healthy, but we're talking about as far as the calendar date is concerned, or the calendar is concerned, even if it's on Shabbos, do the bris milah on Shabbos, even though it involves actually a melacha de'oraisa. Even though it involves a melacha de'oraisa of, you're not allowed to cut, to draw blood. Any action that draws blood is forbidden in de'oraisa on Shabbos. But for bris milah, you're allowed to do it. That's point number one. Point number two, the previous pasuk says that if a woman kisazria, she becomes pregnant, the yolda zocha, and she gives birth to a male. That implies that she gives birth in the same place as she conceived, meaning it's a natural birth, and the baby comes out through the entrance of the womb. Mm-hmm. However, if the baby is born by cesarean, then the bris does not push off Shabbos. Whereas if a baby is born on Shabbos by cesarean, then his bris does not push off Shabbos. Oh. Don't do the bris on Shabbos. Point number two. Point number three I wanted to mention is that the Gemara says, why dafka the 8th day? His first pasuk, previous pasuk says she's tomei for 7 days, and on the 8th day, then you should do the bris milah. It seems there's a connection between the two. So as long as she's tomei, we're not going to do the bris. That's what it implies. So the Gemara says something very interesting. Gemara says we don't want to do the bris when the husband and wife cannot be fully happy together, and everybody else is. So everybody else is happy that this child is now going into the bris, and the parents have this element of their happiness is not complete. So we want her to be pure, we want her to be mutter to her husband, therefore that the simcha of the bris milah should be complete. Just to mention that interesting point. Okay? Happens to be, practically speaking, nowadays, it's not really sharp because most women are still bleeding a week after the birth. So therefore, it's not really practically applicable, this. But technically, a woman could already go to mikveh already on the night of the 8th day, i.e. the night before the bris. Okay, let's continue. Now, there's no Rashi on Gimel. Go into Pasuk Dalet.
Ushloshim yom ushloshes yamim teshev bidmei tahara b'chol kodesh lo siga ve'el ha-mikdash lo savo ad milos yemei tahara. So let's see. For 33 days she shall stay in blood of purity. She may not touch anything sacred, and she may not enter the sanctuary until the completion of her days of purity. So wait a second. I thought you said that on the 8th day she could have relations.
Correct.
How can she if she's in her blood of purity?
Oh. No, so this is an interesting halacha over here. Once she has cleaned herself from the initial blood of birth, then even if for the next 33 days after that, if she has, well, it's not going to be a proper period, but if she sees blood, she has some blood coming out from her womb, it does not make her tummy.
Oh.
It's called b'mei tahara, her blood of purity.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah. Okay, I misunderstood that.
Right. So that's because that's the big thing. Teshet b'mei tahara, and that's what Rashi is going to point out over here. Haf al pi sheroya dam tahira. Even though she sees blood, she still remains pure. Certainly as far as her husband is concerned. But she obviously, as the Pasuk says, she's not allowed to come in contact with holy food, which means basically she mustn't eat truma and she mustn't eat kodshim from a korban, and she's not allowed to enter the Beis Hamikdash.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, because it seems, I'm not going exactly into the ins and outs of it, but the idea is that even she's reached a certain level of purity, right? The higher level of purity to allow her to be able to eat holy foods or to enter the Beis Hamikdash, that she doesn't have.
Okay. So Rashi says teshev, ein teshev ella lashon akava. Let's see. Teshev can mean anything, can mean nothing other than staying. I wrote
remaining, I would say.
Remaining,
Okay.
yeah.
That's how you translate it
last year. It means to remain. Kamo v'teshvu v'kadash.
Kadesh.
V'kadesh. Like v'teshvu in you stayed in Kadesh. To stay. Or remain.
Remain.
Vayeshev be'alonai memra. Mamre. And Vayeshev he stayed in the plains of Mamre.
Both these examples which Rashi brings as applicable over here means she doesn't have to sit the whole time. Here the meaning doesn't mean for 33 days she shall sit in the blood of purity. It means she shall remain in a state of the blood of purity.
I see.
And that's what the Rex Rashi is going to fill in on that.
B'demei tara Af al pi shero'eh dam. Even though she sees blood. Tahora. She is tahor. Bidemei tahara.
She doesn't, if she touches food, she doesn't make it tummy. She can be with her husband. Okay?
Right.
But as far as the Pasuk says over here, she cannot come in contact, which we're going to see actually means as far as, I don't know if Rashi doesn't mention it over here. Yeah, here. Rashi's going to mention it over here, that loisiga, b'chol kodesh loisiga means, even though it literally means she mustn't come in contact, it means she mustn't eat any holy food. Okay, let's continue the Rashi.
Lo mapik. The final letter hey is not pronounced.
Right. Meaning, Papik hey is you have it, it's interesting, you have two very similar words. Here it says, Teishe, the beginning of the pasuk says, Shloshim yom, Shloshim yom, Teishe bidmei tahara, without the Papik hey. And then at the end of the pasuk, the last one of the pasuk says, Ad melois yemei tahara. Right? That's when you help you pronounce the hey with a dot at the end, tahara. Right? Because that is like, it sounds, even though there's no vowel underneath the hey at the end of the part, but you do, that's the way you pronounce it. It's like, Hilu, you say a hey sound without any vowel underneath. Tahara.
Right.
Okay?
Who shave davar?
Shame davar.
Shame davar. It is a noun. Kamo tohar. Like the word tohar.
Which means purity.
Right. Yimei tahara. Mapik hey. There is a dot in the hey, meaning you do pronounce the hey in the when it appears at the end of the sentence. The word tahara means Yemei Tohar Shelah, the days of her purity. Bechol Kodesh, the Rabos Es Ha-Teruma. This is stated to include Truma. Lefi Shezu Tevulas Yom Aruch. For this woman is immersed of an extended day. What does that mean? For this woman, Lefi Shizu Tevula, she's immersed Yom Aruch. What does that mean? Yom Aruch.
Okay, so let me explain what this means. One second. Where you got it the other way. The word loisi, I've got the Rashi's changed around. I don't know why, but loisiga I have before B'chol Kodesh. But anyway, you have it right. And according to the order of the pasuk, B'chol Kodesh comes first. Anyway, B'chol Kodesh, Rashi says, Rabbis says truma, to include truma. Now Rashi explains why. Lefi shezu tfulas yom aruch. This lady who had given birth to a boy, she now, after the 7 days of when she's mandatory impure tamea, so after that, if she's clear of the blood of birth, she can go to the mikveh and she's clean and she's permitted to her husband. But she cannot come in contact, this is what the Pasuk's telling us over here, she cannot eat any holy foods and she's not allowed to enter the Beis HaMikdash. So Rashi is explaining, this is what the Gemara explains, is there's a concept of Tvul Yoim, which means, let's say somebody, even a man, let's say he comes in contact with a dead animal. So that makes him Tommy. Okay? If he can go on the same day, even a few minutes after he's come in contact with a dead animal, he can immerse himself in the mikveh.
Right.
However, he's not pure, right? He's not allowed to eat truma, he's not allowed to eat kodshim till the end of that day, till night, till nightfall.
Right.
Me'ei Mosai, you've got the first Mishnah in Brachas, right? Me'ei Mosai Kohenis Krishma Ve'arbis, Bizman Sha'akonim Nechnosim Lecho B'Trumosa. Right? From the time when the Kohanim can come and eat from their truma. What do you mean? What's that got to do with nightfall? The answer is this is what I just explained now. Any Kohen who may have been previously Tomei, he goes to the mikveh on that day, whatever day it is, it may be, but he's not yet allowed to eat truma till nightfall of that day.
Right.
Because merely immersing himself in the mikveh is not going to complete his purification process. He's only completed what completes the purification process is called Herev Shemesh, meaning the fact that it now becomes night of that day. Okay? The sun setting is literally means Herev Shemesh means the sun becoming evening.
Right.
So when that happens, then he is allowed to eat truma. So here, this particular woman, after she's given birth, she's been gone to mikveh, but she's not allowed to yet to eat kodshim. When is she going to be allowed to eat kodshim? Boy, only 33 days later. So let's say she goes to the mikveh on after the 7 days, on the 8th day, but by night of the 8th day, she can't yet eat truma. She can't eat kodshim. When can she eat that? Only at the end of 33 days.
Yeah.
So those 33 days is
Oh.
one long day. Tfilas Yom Aruch. It's a really super long day. It's a day which lasts 33 days.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah, got it. Now, I think Rashi's going to say what you just said. Shedavla l'sof shiv'ah. Since she immersed at the end of 7, ve'ein mish
Shimsha.
shimsha ma'ariv, but her sun does not set. I'm sorry, her sun does not fade into evening, l'tahara, to make her tahor, ad sheki'as hachama, until the setting of the sun, shel yom arba'im, until the 40th day. I thought we said the 33rd.
Yeah, Mani means including the first 7 days, it's a total of 40.
Oh, got it.
From birth.
Shelamachar, because on the following day, tavi es kaparas taharata, she will bring the atonement, which is going to make her tahor. Lo siga azhara la ochel v'hu. This is a warning that she should not eat. Kamo shenuya biyavamos, as is taught in Tractate Yavamos. That's it.
Now this Rashi is actually very important because Rashi says, even though the pasuk says lo siga, she mustn't touch. Okay, the Gemara explains that the touching over here cannot be referring to mere touching, but to eating.
Right.
Okay, so therefore, there's a woman who's given birth. If she touches the truma, as long as she doesn't eat it, there's no problem in that.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So let's go on to the next pasuk. Actually, there's no nothing Rashi on that. Pasuk Hey.
Okay, hey. Says V'im nikevat heled v'tam'a shvu'ayim kenidata v'shishim yom v'sheshet yamim teshev al demei tahara. Okay, so it says, let's see, if she gives birth to a female, she will be impure for 2 weeks.
Right.
For her,
As she would be in a state of nida.
she won't be in the state of nida. Okay. And let's see, 60, shishim yom, and for 66 days she shall stay in her blood of purity.
Right. She should remain in a state of blood of purity.
Right.
You know, by women, everything takes double the time. You know?
Right.
Okay?
Right. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, it's interesting. For a boy, it takes 40 days till she can become fully pure. Okay? And for a girl, 80 days. There is actually opinion in the Gemara that these 40 days for a boy and 80 days for a girl are representative of the initial gestation period. The Gemara says that till the fetus is 40 days old from the time of conception, it doesn't have it's not considered a viable fetus. That means that it's going to, it's before it's 40 days old, it's like nothing. It's not considered a fetus yet. Okay? So there's one opinion in the Gemara that with regard to a girl, the fetus is not considered a fetus till 80 days. We don't, the accepted opinion is not like that, that opinion. But a component just pointing that out, that this, according to one opinion, that there is, in other words, these 40 days and 80 days are representative of the gestation period, which till that point, from then on, the child is considered a viable fetus. Okay. Right. Let's continue. Pasuk Vov. There's no Rashi on the Pasuk Hey.
Okay. Uvimlod yemei tahara leven o levat tavi keves ben shnato liola ven uven yona o tur lechatat el petach ohel moed el hakohen. Okay, so let's see. When the days of purity are finished, for a son or a daughter, she brings a sheep that's what, less than 1 year?
Yeah, in its first year.
Its first year, as an Olo offering, and a dove,
Or a young dove.
or a turtle dove,
right,
for the sin offering.
The Gemara says, En Yoina has to be a young one, which means in its first year. And Tor, right?
You are connected.
And a Tor, a turtle dove, is an older one.
Oh, no. Okay.
It's Ben Yoina or Tor, not a Ben
Look and
Tor.
see if the little green light is on the printer out there. Which one you're trying to get to.
Okay. To the entrance.
Yeah. Okay, good. So you just have to wait.
To the Kohen. So she has to bring those animals to the Kohen.
Give me this one. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No Rashi on that. Let's do. We got time now for do. Maybe we should do this. Maybe we'll leave this then for tomorrow then. Okay.
Okay,
I'll go up to
very good.
Pasuk Zayin, and Mayor, you're on for reading for tomorrow. Okay. Very
Zion.
good. Pasuk Zayin. Got up to Pasuk Zayin. Okay. Very good. Let's have a great day.
Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi. See you
You're
tomorrow.
welcome.
It's
Have a
Hashem.
wonderful day.
See you, Meir.
Okay, take care, Lou.